Thank you so much for being here with me today. A few weeks ago, so the last time we did the tap in together, the intention was to see everything in our life as a lesson. So ultimately, why I wanted to bring that into our awareness is being able to see everything in our life as an opportunity to learn something about ourselves is how we figure out who we really are. It's also how we figure out what it is that we truly want. If you haven't been focusing on that in the last couple of weeks, I want you to bring it right back into your radar once again. And many times we kind of push this aside, right? I don't want to see everything as a lesson. And why is that? Because sometimes it looks really scary. It's a scary thing to go inward and look at everything that's happening in us and around us as a lesson to be learned. We kind of go, well, it's too scary, or that's too hard, or I don't want to do that. And so when there's too much darkness in our life, or as we see things in the world, if it's too much darkness, we get scared and we just avoid it, or we don't want to go that way. So this week, I'd like you to look at darkness a little different, right? Darkness isn't bad. It's not. Darkness is usually way more blown up than it really actually is. It's simply uncertainty. That's what darkness really is. It's uncertainty. It's the unknown. It's like, I don't want to go there. It's scary. We've been conditioned as a society to be afraid of the dark. And so when we're afraid of the dark, we tend to not want to go there. I don't want to go there. But we make up so much more. Just as a child, the boogeyman underneath the bed. Our imagination and just carries us away to worst case scenarios and bigger monsters than there actually are. So it's the uncertainty. It's like, I don't know what's under my bed, but it's scaring me. I see a shadow of something and I don't know what it is. But when you shine a light underneath the bed, or you look in the daylight and you realize it's that stuffed animal that you lost a few weeks ago. And so it really wasn't that scary. So when we look at darkness differently, think of darkness as soothing. Right? For 9 months, we were carried in our mother's belly and it was dark. And that was soothing. Right? When we go to sleep at night, darkness helps us to sleep, to go to sleep, to stay asleep. So darkness doesn't have to be something that we are afraid of. The unknown or the uncertainty doesn't have to be something that we're afraid of, right? There's so much wisdom in uncertainty. And so darkness, let's look at darkness as that opportunity that life is going to present to us, that gives us an opportunity for us to learn, okay? To learn more about ourselves, to learn and to grow and to evolve. And when we get to learn these lessons in our life, we become a lot more familiar with who it is that we truly are and what it is that we truly want. So our own personal darknesses, like what is that? Those are basically what we deem as parts of ourself that are unacceptable. Okay? So we hide them. So we ignore them. So we kind of push them away. We don't want to bring light to those darknesses. We deem them as unacceptable. And so this might be like anger or sadness or rage or cruelty or laziness or feelings of being unworthy or not good enough. And so, I could go on and on and on, but those are just a few things that we might go, I don't want to bring some light to that because it's unacceptable and I'm not going to do it. But nothing really changes in our life until we do shine some light on them, until we do feel all of those, feelings or emotions or fears that we have. We just stuff them and keep them locked inside of a a closet that we don't want to shine any light on. Carl Jung has a quote, and it's, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of others. So we got to go inwards. We got to take a look at what our own darknesses are. So how do we get to know them? And most importantly, how do we get to accept those darknesses within each of us? Okay, we shine a light on them. If we're deeming them as unacceptable, we're looking at them as something that we're ashamed of. There's shame surrounding our darknesses. And shame has all the power if we keep it in silence and keep it in the dark. But when we shine a light on those darknesses, when we shine a light on what we deem as being unacceptable, the shames that we carry, shame loses its power. So by shining a light on these darknesses, we can share this. Speak it, share it with someone. You don't have to share it with the world. Share it with someone that you trust. And the minute that you bring the power of sound, the vibration of sound to something that you deem as being unacceptable or shameful about yourself, the shame loses its power. So let's shine a light and give a voice to this darkness. Okay? Then we can feel them. Then we allow ourselves to feel them. That means we might need to cry, or we might need to mourn something. We're going to feel it, and the feelings are going to be uncomfortable. And that's what a lot of people go, ew, right? That's the dark. I'm going to turn off my light because I don't want to feel. But when we allow ourselves to feel those feels, those whatever it is that is coming up for you, then we get to release it. And it's in that, so give it a voice, shine some light on it, begin to feel it. And then that's when we get some clarity on, this is the lesson that I was meant to learn. When we allow ourselves to feel them. Maybe our lesson was acceptance, right? Maybe our lesson was to accept ourselves fully and completely. Maybe our lesson is forgiveness. Maybe our lesson is resilience, or to build strength, or to love unconditionally ourselves and someone else. Right? There is a lesson in every single thing that we encounter in this life. And so this week, it is about shining a light on the darknesses, on those things that you deem unacceptable or shameful about yourself. And when we can shine a light on that, give it a voice, let it lose its power, let ourselves feel it, and then we get clarity on what the lesson is. It is then that we begin to discover who we are underneath that. This is called peeling back the layers. And ultimately, what it comes down to is what it is that we truly want. How is it that we want to feel? So we get to shed a light this week on who it is that we no longer want to be, those stories that we no longer want to tell ourselves. What are those shame stories? We get to shine a light on that. We get to feel. We get to learn the lesson that's at the end of this uncertainty, this darkness, this uncomfortable, the unknown feelings. And when we begin to shine a light on, well, I don't want to tell that story anymore. I don't need to be that shame story anymore, right? I don't need to act from a place that is holding all of my shame. I'm not going to tell that story anymore. I'm going to shine some light on it. I'm going to tell a different story. And then you can start to tell a different story once you go through this. You can't just bypass all of the darkness and go, I'm going to tell a whole different story. You got to shine a light on it. You got to feel it. You got to realize, I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to act like that anymore. And then we can learn the lesson. Okay, I needed to learn acceptance or resilience or whatever it is, compassion for myself. Now I get to, start to be who it is that I want to be. Now I get to feel how I want to feel, because everything that we want in this life comes down to how it's going to make us feel, right? So if we want more success, or we want better health, or we want whatever it is that you want that new car, you want more money, you want more love, whatever it is that you do want in this life, it comes down to how it's going to make you feel. So let's shine the light on the darkness. How do we want to feel? We don't want to feel shameful anymore. We don't want to feel guilty anymore. I don't want to feel this way anymore. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel calm. I want to feel excited. I want to be happy. I want to feel proud. I want to feel satisfied. I want to feel accomplished, right? I want to feel harmonious. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel connected. I want to feel safe. This is how we discover who it is we are and what it is that we want. But let's not bypass the darkness and sugarcoat all of this. This week's intention, I'm asking you to compassionately shed some light on the darkest parts of yourself. Allow yourself to open up to the wisdom, to seeing the wisdom and the lessons that these darknesses are showing up in our life to teach us. Our darknesses are our greatest teachers. Those people who have hurt us the most are our greatest teachers. Those betrayals, the fears that we all have, these are our greatest teachers. This week, we shed light. Down to a couple of minutes, but we got to get some energy going so we can tap this into our physical existence, our physical body. So let's just bounce and shake. So I'm asking you to open up the darkness. Go in there with a flashlight. Go in there with a friend. Speak it to someone that you trust. Okay, just shake out so your body starts to feel some movement, some energy going through. Yeah, just shake it out. Shake it out. Shake out the fears. March it out. Maybe we want to feel brave this week. It's brave. This is that shining the light on those darkest parts and allowing ourselves to release them, to feel them, to speak about them. Okay? Let's just tap in. I'm gonna go a little over the 15 minutes today. Just tap down and up. And you can go a little firmer. I just know it's very loud sometimes when I tap loud. Good. Okay. Rub your hands together. Shake out. And then just tap in underneath the eyes. This grounds and roots us. Let's ground and root in this physical body. Right? Let's breathe. Let's shed some light this week in our darknesses. Maybe that's our health. Maybe that's our choices. Maybe that is something we've been hiding, secrets we've been telling, shames we've been holding on to. Okay, let's get our energy moving in the right direction. By shining a light, we get to bring more ability to learn these lessons that we came into this lifetime to learn. Because on the other side of that darkness, when we shine the light, is light. It's lighter. We don't feel so heavy. We're not holding on to these burdens, these fears. Okay, tap in. Let's be grateful. Grateful for these greatest teachers, our fears, our shames, the people who have hurt us the most, the people who annoy us the most. And as Carl Jung says, when we work through our own darknesses, here, let's tap in on that fourth thumb. That's when we can start to accept the darknesses in others, or know the darknesses in others. This week is about knowing our own darkness, accepting our own darkness, shedding light on our own darkness. It's not as scary as we see, as we think. And if you think it is, then seek some help. Find somebody professional who can help you to see those fears, to see the darkness as an opportunity to learn and to know and to ultimately shake it out. Bring your hands together. Get down to the bottom of who you are and what it is that you truly want. So let's do this. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.